everybody, what's doing? It is the CBC Wisdom Hour, episode number 131 for March 23rd, 2021. I'm Steve Witchell in New Orleans.
What's up, everybody? Tony B coming to you from New Jersey.
Yes, sir. I was just trying to tell you before we went on, we're a little late because we had some technical issues, but it is thunderstorming here right now. It has been all day. So if all of a sudden, Tony, I'm frozen, like
that means
like that.
It means that
for several seconds, that means I've lost power. So
okay. Hopefully it doesn't happen, Steve, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, just so you know, because it did happen one other time.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
indeed.
What's up, everybody out in Cover Band Central Land? We are broadcasting live on the Cover Band Central page and in the Cover Band Central group. And if you would like to leave a comment, click on that link in the description that says let StreamYard show your name, so it will show your name. So we see you and we can show you on the screen and we can address you by name, ask us questions, leave comments, whatever you want to do. This is a interactive experience now.
It is indeed.
Nowadays. So got that out of the way.
Cool.
How's it going? What's going on? What's new in New Jersey? Are people playing?
Had rehearsal last night for the first time.
Nice.
In a year.
Okay.
That was good.
Let's hear about it.
No, it was good. I mean, like I said, we haven't played, but we got together. It was, like anything. It's like like we never had not played. It was, a little spit shine needed maybe, but that's about it. All the meat of the stuff is still there. So everyone still remembered the 50 plus songs, and including myself, and we were able to blister through, a full set worth of music last night, and then we're going to have rehearsal next week, go through another set, and then we got a couple gigs coming up, the 16th, I think, April, and then the following weekend, the 24th. So
nice.
Yeah.
So was this just a kind of let's get together and break through the cobwebs kind of jam?
It's just we got a gig in 3 weeks. Let's we haven't played in a year. Let's just get together and jam on some tunes and just go through the set that we're going to do, so that everyone's comfortable with that, they haven't forgotten their parts or whatever.
Right. So just kind of get comfy again, dust everything off, and that's cool. I like those kind of rehearsals because it's not really pressure. There's no pressure.
No, and it was comfortable in like 5 minutes. It wasn't like it wasn't a struggle at all. Put it that way. It was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. Rita DeLongchamp Osborne wants to know, what kind of music will you be playing, Tony?
So this particular cover band I play in is an eclectic mix of obscure hit songs. So, for example, they might play, like, their first set might consist of Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears, into Stay With Me by Faces, into Black Coffee in Bed,
nice,
into She Don't Love Me Now by Hollis Brown, into Drive by The Cars, into It's Money That Matters by Randy Newman, or Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Like I said, like obscure, eclectic tunes,
but mostly
which is, I know, you're one of your favorites,
right? But it's mostly in the rock genre. Right?
It's definitely in a classic rock genre, but again, I mean, they do some collective soul. They do Petty. We play, The Who, Won't Get Fooled Again. We were putting together an 80s medley of a bunch of other tunes, but a lot of like really good songs that nobody really plays. Not your standard cover band fare. I wouldn't say there's not one song, or less than a half a dozen songs that would be your standard cover band set list. Like
right.
No American Girl,
No Jesse's Girl,
No Jesse's Girl, none of those like standard. It's all real eclectic mix of tunes, but good tunes. Steely Dan.
How about Small Town Girl? You playing that one?
No. No Small Town Girl.
I mean, Don't Stop Believing, obviously, but people play Small Town Girl.
Small Town Girl. Play Midnight
I was
Cruise.
trying to think of other girl
Yeah.
titled songs because you
No,
said
nothing
just
mainstream. Like I said,
American Girl.
like Hollis Brown, "She Don't Love Me Now." I don't know if you're familiar with that tune, but it's a great tune, but it's not super mainstream. But when I heard the song, I'm like, wow, this is a really good band. It's a good sound song. Um,
Okay.
they might do Mott the Hoopla all the way to Memphis. Might
Not the
do
Hoople.
um, Wings like Junior's Farm. They do. We also do Band on the Run.
Nice.
So like good tunes, good fun
Pat.
songs, but again, like songs that but that aren't super popular. So it's not like, but when you hear them, you're like, oh yeah, man. Like so many people come up like the last gig we played, and they were like, I've never heard band do half these songs that you guys are doing.
Right.
It
Pat
was
Peeker
just
says it sounds like my kind of band.
yeah, cool. Like I said, I haven't seen any cover bands do Steely Dan as of late, or a medley of 50s into 60s into 70s, which is
Right.
pretty, interesting. And then a bunch of 80s, 90s tunes, some fairly newer songs, but like I said, mainly more classic rock and real down
Right.
and dirty rock, two
Right.
guitar players, everybody sings, bass player, keyboard, drums.
Right.
So it's fun. It's a good mix,
Cool. Richard Varno says he loves the Soul on Shine by Collective Soul. It's one of his favorites. Richard
Yeah,
Varno is somebody
good
for
tune.
you Cover Band Central fans. Is somebody I'm going to be talking to on Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. He has a new website called Song Angel, and it helps you get your information out there to the right people, and also be able to track the correspondence, see when people are listening to your music and opening your emails and stuff. It's a pretty cool thing. So I'm gonna be talking to him Thursday night. So tune in for that. Check out Richard.
Nice.
I put a post up today on the page about if anybody wants to check it out on the Cover Band Central Facebook page. There's a post up about his stuff. But we'll be talking to him Thursday. So cool, man. I mean, that's if you're playing songs like that. Typically, you're not going to be playing to 20-something, 30-something-year-old people in a dance-ish type of nightclub.
No.
That's going to be an older crowd, generally,
Well,
40s, 50s.
You know what they play a lot of those, Steve? They play a lot of street fairs, town concerts, big venues like that sort of stuff for summertime, outdoor gigs. And then there's a few rotating places that are, probably a little bit older crowd, not really dad rock, but older crowd. But,
Kind of dad rock.
they might do a Sunday afternoon, like 3 to 6 or 2 to 5, but all rockin' tunes, like all rockers. There's no
Right.
real sleepers in there,
Right. There's a theme for today's show, and it's because it came up in the last few days in the Cover Band Central group, and as I've mentioned to you before and mentioned on the show, that there are certain topics that just happen to kind of come around every once in a while. There's a cycle. It's so fascinating because none of them really ever happen at the same time.
Cyclical topics.
Cyclical topics. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I think I made you guess what some of them were. Maybe even last week. I don't remember.
Oh, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I think I got a majority of them wrong.
Yeah. But one of them maybe that I didn't mention that does come up every once in a while is talking about set lists. And then all of a sudden people start posting their set lists. Here's my set list from last night. Here's our one we're doing this weekend. What do you think? And I really try to encourage the people in the group to use the hashtag CBC set list so that we can group them all together. So it's a great resource for people coming in and trying to get set list ideas, seeing what other people are doing, how long the sets are, what the segues are, blah, 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 how they format it, how they put it on paper, how big the font is, what information they put there. There's all sorts of information you can glean from that. So I try to encourage people. And dude, yesterday, people were posting them a lot. And I posted it a couple times. Like, if you're putting up a set list, please use the hashtag CBC set lists.
Right.
And still people
doing it.
Still people weren't doing it. And I'm like, I'm getting so frustrated. And like probably about 15 times yesterday, I went into a post and it said, please include the hashtag CBC set list. Or please edit your post to include the hashtag CBC set list.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah. So most people, when I went in and made that comment, said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know," and they went and did it. So it maybe not right now in a minute, but soon, sometime in this hour, we're going to look at those set lists, Tony, and we're going to see. We're gonna give our feedback. We're going to
Excellent.
see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, again, like I said, the appeal with this band is that they're all good players. Everybody sings except the bass player.
Right.
Um, but the attraction was the fact that they don't do all the standard cover bear fare that you and I have played, to death. Like,
Right. Sure.
17 years of Weisenheimer's playing all these top clubs and venues and wedding gigs. You're playing the same songs
Yeah,
night
but even
after night.
Weisenheimer's, you guys still played some stuff that was a little off center. It was.
We did. We had a couple, maybe 5%, 7% of the
Mm,
tunes were not the mainstream cover band fare. But, if you started naming songs, that are your standard cover band songs, we would
right.
play, you know,
Tim said my band played Junior's Farm a few years ago, but
yeah,
the crowd didn't dig it. Wrong audience for us, I think. I don't know what Junior's Farm is. Do you?
Junior's Farm is a Wings song.
Oh, that's the one that you played.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
one we
or
play.
you're playing.
And again, these guys have played the circuit of all different clubs that I really have never played. They're all different venues that I'm familiar with. And the crowds, like you said, are typically 30s, 40s, 50s, not really, but some younger guys, some younger crowd there, in some places, but the majority of them, you know, most of those songs do go over. And they have a pretty good pulse of what the club is, and they tailor the set list accordingly. Like, for example, they might do Drive by the Cars. There might be a venue we play and they'll say, yeah, they'll make the set list specifically for that venue, and that song won't be on there. And I'll say to them, well, how come that's not on there? It's a good tune. They'll say, because it's not the right room for that, that particular tune.
Right. Yeah,
But
that makes sense. You definitely want to cater your songs to the room and to the
right.
audience you're playing for.
But they're not afraid of, like you said, doing like a Kid Charlemagne by Steely Dan, or Don't Take Me Alive by Steely Dan, which are great tunes, but they're not the most mainstream Steely Dan tunes. If I said to you, "Hey, name a Steely Dan song,"
Yeah, yeah.
you probably wouldn't name one of those.
No, I would not.
Right. So that's a cool thing because Steely Dan's it's a complex arrangement. It's all great musicians, so stuff
Yeah,
like that. And there's a lot of freedom to stretch. It's almost like you play the Elevators. Everyone takes a solo. It goes around. You don't play the songs exactly the same. Like we do Pretenders, Middle of the Road, which always goes over great. But there'll be like two or three guitar solos, a keyboard solo. It's just they'll stretch it in the
right,
middle so everyone has some
right.
fun with it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a good band and you're good players and you're picking songs that even if they're obscure, as long as they're good songs, if people are in an environment where it's a destination gig, they came there for whatever reason, if it's a street fair, if it's a
Yep.
festival, if they're just there to have a good time and the music is good, they're not going to care that they don't know it. They're good.
Right. And it's funny you say that because the last gig I played in the fall, some guy came up and he said, "I'm a musician. I'm in a cover band too." He said, "And I don't know any of the songs that you guys are playing." He says, "But they sound great and I like them." He said, "Like, I'm
Right,
really enjoying your band, but I'm not familiar with some of the songs you're playing."
right,
Some of the mainstream ones, of course, but most of the other like obscure ones. Because even when I got the set list originally, there was probably 70 songs on it, and
right.
50 to 55 of them I didn't know. Like I had
Yeah,
never played them.
yeah.
You know,
And like Donna Noble Cornell says, good music, rock and roll in particular, is good music. Played well, even better. Who cares what era or genre it comes from? Just rock it.
yeah, Donna, good
Right.
good perspective on that. True. If the band sounds good, like you said, doesn't necessarily, and it's interesting too because like when I listen to Sirius in the car, there's so much music to choose from. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
From Fish to Dave Matthews to Octane, and then all the metal, and then Lithium, which is all the '90s alternative stuff, and then Foo Fighters have a channel, and all these bands have channels now,
Yep.
and it's great because, like you said, you can jump around to all these different genres, and it really, you can really appreciate the live because like Dave Matthews Band and Fish Channel are all live. For the most part, it's 90% live gigs that they're playing.
Right.
Back to each other,
Right.
and it's just cool. And some of them are like from the '90s, early 2000s, '03, 97, '05. Nothing like I haven't come across anything past like 2017, maybe, barely. And
Right.
even those, you know, older performances are just slamming. And they, especially Dave Matthews, he goes so far, he stretches so far
Uh,
outside the realms of what the song is live, you know? And it's just it's great.
yeah. Yeah. I love my Sirius XM. I have it in the car and I have it, I could listen to it in the house too. But it's funny because I have my certain channels that I check.
Yeah.
And it's, about 10 different ones, I'd say, that I go and I check, for a good song. And sometimes I'll go to every one of them and not find a song that I want to listen to.
Hmm. Hey, and you know what I
But
noticed too? I don't know if you noticed that, but I hadn't had Sirius for a while and I just got it back now. And when you go to a channel, if the song is less than like a minute and a half in, it starts from the beginning of the song.
not on my thing.
Yeah, mine does that now. I was amazed. I would go to every channel. I'm like, oh, I just happen to keep getting lucky and catching the beginning of every song. And then I'm like, no, but wait a minute. Every channel you go to, it starts at the beginning of the
That
song.
doesn't happen for me. I don't know.
And then if
You
you
got
go,
some,
but no, and then if you go back to that channel, it's
right.
not. It doesn't start from the beginning again. It's wherever it was in the song. So, like an example, if it's a minute and 45 in, and I click on it, it starts at the beginning. But if I go off and come back, it's at the 2 minute mark or wherever it was previously. Like you can't go back again.
Well, you got some voodoo on your Sirius
Yeah,
XM because I don't have that on mine. Um, uh,
Voodoo. You
Thank you,
got you got
Tony.
Voodoo XM, baby.
Tony Scarlata said he's a big fan of the site. Can't wait to start playing live again. I hear you, brother.
Yeah,
I
you and me
am.
both.
I am playing this weekend. This coming weekend, I am playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At
Wow. In
Yes,
the quarter on Bourbon Street.
in the quarter on Bourbon Street at the famous door, which is the best room on the street for bands.
And that's
Um,
not your usual club that you had been playing at,
that
right?
is not. I was playing a Crazy Corner. Yeah.
But with the same beast of bourbon.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I know it's going to be the same singer. I don't know who else is going to be there because
Oh, so it's not necessarily the band playing that, it's a gig at that venue to TBD personnel.
yeah. I mean, I could ask, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to show up and play. Um,
Sure.
but because the rest of the guys in Beast of Bourbon have been keeping busy during quarantine to playing outside of the quarter. Again, they've been getting work. They're that drummer and guitar player are two of the top like in demand players here in this city. They're the top notch guys. They're the go to pros. So they're busy. So I don't know if they're going to be there any of the nights or maybe a couple of the nights or who knows.
So
But
they're playing a lot outside the quarter with other
right.
bands, you're saying, as subs.
Right,
That's
right.
right.
Yeah, like Brent is playing in at least four bands, I believe, or at least three or four. I don't know. He's playing all the time. So, but it's our singer that gets the call to play,
Hmm.
and she's going to do whatever it takes.
Well, is she putting the band together for the venue, or is she
Yeah,
just? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
she'll put the band together for the weekend, and it's the way it is in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. When I used to run a band 4 years ago or so, 5 years ago maybe, um, almost every night I would have somebody different on stage, and it was a pain in the ass because I was the band leader and I had to all the time get subs for drummers, for singers, usually
You got to
singers.
drum up musicians, no pun intended.
Yeah. So I had like I was good because I kept everything very organized. A nice list of drummers, a list of bass players, or not bass players, guitar players, singers, blah blah blah. But it's a lot of work. So the important
Bass
thing would
players. So you put the band together, and
well yeah
you just went and
actually
hung out, and watched.
well sometimes I would have to get a sub for me, but I didn't really do that when it was my band when I was running it.
Right.
I didn't take nights off. Um, but so the important thing to do is protect the gig. Get whoever you can that's going to
Yep.
get the job done there. So it's kind of a big deal that we're getting this room for the weekend, and I don't know if that's going to be like that going forward, but at least for this weekend, it's because I don't think Crazy Corner's having bands yet. I don't think a lot of the clubs on Bourbon Street are having bands yet. So this is the place to be. So I'm excited to go out and play
So now
this weekend.
that everyone is, because you guys are all full-time players, right? So like you said, Brent and your other guitar player are playing elsewhere with other people to
Right.
keep themselves occupied, keep the income coming in. So
Right. Sure.
is it safe to say that if you guys do famous door with, we'll call it, um, pickup band, right? So it's you, your singer, and then a different drummer, a guitar player, keyboard player, maybe another guy singer or something, right? If that's
Probably not.
if
Probably
that's the
not.
if
But yeah.
that's the B band, right? And then you guys kill it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Famous Door says to you, "We want the B band now for the next, 2 months every weekend."
They won't do it. They don't care. They go to the band leader. It's the band leader's responsibility to make sure there's players on stage. That's it.
Don't care
Uh,
who it is. So just
They
go to the
don't
band
care.
leader, say, "You got a gig this weekend and the next 5 weekends, so make sure you're here with the band." Doesn't
Yeah,
matter who it is, just play
yeah,
music.
they won't intervene as far as band members are concerned unless there's a band member that's causing a problem. Then they will intervene, and that's happened a lot. Where somebody's getting too drunk on stage, somebody's harassing employees, somebody just said something wrong about management, and it got back to management, and I mean, they're very sensitive. So
And then what? Like the guy shows up and it's like, "Oh, you bad mouth our
they,
manager. You can't play tonight?"
no, they get blackballed. People have gotten blackballed. Like, you're not even allowed to come into the club.
Wow.
I've seen that happen to a lot of people.
So that means that, like, you know,
It,
drummer C has says something about someone at the staff there, gets back to them. They just tell the singer, "Hey, listen, drummer C is not allowed to play here anymore, so find a different guy."
yes,
End of
it's a
story. That's it.
end of story. That's it. No discussion.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little mafioso, but it's what it is. Jason Wood asked what happened to the video with the video of the week. The video of the week was posted yesterday. It can be found on the website also, coverbandcentral.com. It's this kid. I don't know if you've ever seen this kid. You may have, and I got to pull it up to get his name proper. Um, he started playing when he was 7 years old and playing guitar, I should say. Yeah, I
Okay.
should clarify. Um, and I saw a video of him playing um, this song that I chose this week that I can't freaking remember what it is right now. Tennessee Whiskey. And the kid's name is Taj Farran. He's from Australia, and he's 11 now. And the video of him playing that song is when he was 9. And dude, unreal. Like, this kid can play better than most normal
Yeah, he's
guitar
killing it.
players.
Yeah.
He's got timing, he can do the pick squeals, and his little hands on this SG, Gibson SG. Unreal. So I encourage people to check that out. It's on the website, coverbandcentral.com. So I will get to Tim Knight's comment when we start that discussion in a minute. But let's look at Dennis Lager. It said, what advice would you give to singers who don't want to sing those traditional songs, the Jesse's Girls of the universe? If I was just a musician, maybe those songs would be easier to play rather than having to sing those over and over. So is he saying that he doesn't want to sing those songs because they're not easy, or because he just doesn't want to play them?
Yeah, good question.
I would say, you
I mean,
can't.
listen, when you're just, I think, me personally, I think, and now in hindsight, in retrospect, I think that if you're in a band and you're playing a bunch of songs that you just don't like playing them,
Mhm.
that's a personal choice that you have to make, right? As an artist, like, do you want to just, show up and do the gig and just go through the motions and play the same songs, to the best of your ability, of course, rock them out, but the same songs every night? Or is it, like you said, a little bit more enticing to play something, because you know what it is. If you have a set list that you constantly play and then you introduce a couple of new songs, everyone's so excited to play the new songs, right? Because the
Sure.
old songs are just like,
And it
we've
gives the
played
old
them.
songs new
Yeah,
life too. It
it,
makes it
and
kind
even
of,
the old worn out songs, when you're playing them and the crowd is up and singing along and it's a packed place and they're going crazy. I mean, it's the energy in the room that elevates everything, right? So it's not just playing the same old songs, but I can see how it can get a little old, you know?
It definitely gets old, and nobody knows that more than me and people that play in New Orleans, because I've been playing here 11 years. I've played in the ballpark of 2,000 gigs, and I've probably played Sweet Child of Mine at every single one of those.
And what was funny is you said because of the turnover in some of those places that you've played the same songs in multiple sets because there's
Yeah,
a different crowd in the room.
I've played Sweet Home Alabama 3 times in a night
Right.
or more. The mega popular ones, Don't Stop Believing, I've played twice or 3 times in a night. Yeah, so
I mean,
I
hey,
don't
I
want
get not to cut you off. I guess it's no
cut
different,
me off
Steve,
all
than
night.
if you like, for example, again with the serious thing, they get Foo Fighters have a limited engagement channel, everyone gets depending on what time of day you tune in, they're either playing live songs, album cuts, some obscure cuts, or someone in the band has a spot for an hour, and they're like Taylor Hawkins was on the other day with Dave Navarro, and they were talking about a Rush and Exit Stage Left and the influences and stuff like that. And then Dave Grohl has an hour spot on at some time during the day where he talks about Sound City. And he'll go back to different eras, Sound City in the 70s. And here's bands that recorded there. And he'll pull off tracks off of bands that played there and put it up and whatever. But what was cool was I was listening to Nate Mendel this morning when I was driving, and he was saying that, like, and you think about it, like Foo Fighters, right? They've been around for what, 25 years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've played thousands of gigs,
30.
in big places. And even at that level, he was saying that, like, All My Life, he said, All My Life is like an anchor song for them. So he said when that song, when they start that riff, dun, 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 dun,
Right.
dun, he says, you know, it's like their safe place, their safe haven. Like if the gig's not going real well, if they're having some kind of difficulty, if someone's struggling with something, as soon as they start playing that song, the band gels, it comes alive, and the place just erupts because of the intensity of the song and the popularity of it. So
Right.
it was interesting to hear him say, like, we've played, they've played those songs thousands of times, the same set list. Like, they're staples, right? There's songs that they're going to play at every show, no matter where they play, right? There's probably a dozen songs that they play every time,
Sure.
My
Sure.
Hero and, All My Life and all Monkey Wrench, things like that, that they're definitely going to play at every show. But he was saying that it doesn't get old. And, they play the same songs, but they like when they have a new album and they introduce new material, like you said, it breathes life into the old songs. But
Right.
a song you've played 1,000 times can be a comfortable, um, you know, uh, area or a comfort zone for the band to get into if you need to, like, reset. You know what I'm saying? It's a song that everybody knows, everyone gets into it, and you can play it, and it like the back of your hand, and you can kind of go on autopilot, because
Right.
we've all had good gigs and bad gigs. You have some gigs that are just great, magical from the get go, and some that have some issues as you're going, whether it be technical or performance issues, or the PA's not working right, you can't hear the vocals, and there's some kind of issue. And when things like that happen, it's very easy to say, like, hey, you just got to forge forward and pretend like it didn't happen and just keep going. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it, just keep going. But like we talked about in the past, mentally, as musicians, because we're fixated on playing the song correctly and to the best of our ability, when there are mishaps and missteps, it's hard to not dwell on them. It takes,
Right.
it,
Yeah.
it takes a long
Yeah.
time of experience and playing wise, right, wisdom, to be able to move on past that and just
Right.
be like, hey, it is what it is.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to keep you from going too far off topic here, but about playing those songs. I mean, the point was you're making with the Foo Fighters is, they've played it thousands of times, and each time it's a different experience. So the advice I would say to Dennis is, you know, suck it up. If those are the songs that are required to play for the gig that you need to do, that you're doing, it doesn't matter. Each time you play that song, it's going to be a new experience, because it's going to be different people you're playing to. There's going to be a different vibe in the room. You're going to be in a different mood. You're going to have had something different for lunch that day. I mean, there's so many factors that come into play. So, just do what it takes to get the job done.
Well, and think of it too as you've played the song 1,000 times, but that person in the audience may be seeing your band play that song for the first time
Right.
ever,
And yeah,
because they
and
know the song, but
that
they've never
that
seen you do it. So you
and
only do it
that's
because
almost
you're really,
always it's
yeah.
almost always the case that there's somebody that's brand new. So make it brand new every time, and just
Make
I
it
mean,
brand new every time. I like that.
don't think about like, oh, I gotta sing Jesse's Girl again. Just just do whatever it takes. And if the question is alluding to that you're having physical difficulty singing something over and over again, then that's a whole different issue, and then you have to kind of address that accordingly. Um, all right, so yeah, Tim Knight's in talking about set lists, and we're going to get into this now. With a few former bands I was with, we would leave the set list a little open so we could read the audience and change the list to accommodate, and that's something that is an option. And you can always call on Audible. It's good to, I'm going to start this off by saying my opinion on set lists. If I think that you should have a set list. In my case, on Bourbon Street, we usually don't. Most people do not have any sort of set list or even a song list in front of them. But in most cases where it's a destination gig, you know what sets you're going to be doing. You know how to time it. You know it's going to be a certain length of time, and then you can time your set. I highly encourage set lists, and I believe there's an art to putting it together. You want to kind of take people on a ride.
Yep.
And you want to consider, there's a lot of factors you want to consider. The keys of the song you want to consider to make smooth segues, the tempo of the song, um, the genre of the song, and you want to cater your set to that. You want to take people on a ride, and you want to make it all flow seamlessly. And that being said, you always have room for an audible. You always have room to, if you're in a situation where there's tips accepted or allowed, then if somebody comes up and asks you to play a certain song and tips you a certain amount of money, which you feel is worth it, then you do it. You play the song, you deviate from the set list. There's certain type of gigs where you don't have crowd interaction. It's not a bar, it's not a club, it's more of a theater maybe, or something more, a stage where you're separated from people and you actually have a show. Then you write a set list, you stick to that set list generally, unless a problem occurs.
But if you guys don't write a set list, right? Like on Bourbon Street, like you said, there's no set list. You don't have anything in front of you. You're not reading off anything. How do
Right.
you guys keep everything flowing so that everyone knows what the next song is? Do you have hand
Hand
signals?
signals generally. It depends who I'm working with. Sometimes you have to kind of mouth it. The way I would do it when I was running the band, um, if I was just calling songs without a set list, which I did a lot, um, I would make sure the person who starts the song, person or persons who start the song, know
Yep.
what the next song is before the song we're playing is over. And I had there were certain hand signals that just kind of developed over time on Bourbon Street because we all know each other, and some of them are wacky. Like you don't necessarily, if I did it to you, you wouldn't necessarily know what song it is. But
No, but I've been in bands where a guy went like this to be like living on a prayer. They had like
that's
certain
living on
moves.
a prayer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what we do.
You see a guy do that, that's the next tune. So some of them are universal. But my question is, so so you're calling audibles the whole night then, basically, right? If you're the band leader and you're the one in charge of the set list and there is no set list, then as the night is progressing, you're calling the next song based on what you're feeling from the crowd and what you think is going to segue well,
Yes,
right?
yeah, generally, because generally I would know which songs are going to go well together. Like, and I would sort of think in blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, and there's certain songs that we would always kind of segue from this song to that song. So I would always know how to kind of group that stuff together, and everybody would know if we're playing this song, then we're going to be playing that song next. They would know.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, yeah, the whole night would be inaudible, but it's reading the crowd, it's taking requests, but
Hey, listen,
and
that's an art in
it is
itself
an
to be
art,
able
and
to do that.
it's fun. I enjoy the art of it. That's why I kind of like doing it, because I think you can really kind of control what's going on in the room based on your song selection and based on keeping it moving. Keeping
Yeah,
it moving is essential.
I
Um,
remember playing a wedding where we had a set list, and as the people were up dancing, as I'm looking at the set list, as like you said, halfway through the song, in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, everyone's up dancing, the next song is really not gonna keep them dancing, it's going to be in a different direction. So we did it several times, but I can recall one wedding in particular where it was all the second set was all audibles. You know what I mean? I was just looking at the set
Yeah,
and yelling them out, and then going from one to the next, and not stopping playing, and not giving people a chance to stop and applause and go run to their seat. You know what I mean? Keep them
right,
up dancing on the floor, on the floor, on the floor. I'll never
right.
forget that. And the mother of the bride came up to me at the end of the night and said, "Your band was phenomenal. You kept everyone on the dance floor the entire night, and
Yeah,
your
and that's the way
songwriting was
to
really." And that's, like you said, that's
that's
what you
the,
got to do.
that's the way to do it. And Richard Vorno said, on making things flow smoothly, what do you think about medleys? And medleys, yeah, I mean medleys. Again in New Orleans, we have sort of put medleys together organically over the course of time, where it's like we just kind of all of us sort of know each other. We know we're going to put this song next to that song and that song. But as far as a medley is concerned, where you're only playing part of the song, that's
Yes.
something we do too. I'm a huge fan of medleys, Richard,
Me too.
and I think there's an art also to putting medleys together. And I don't think a lot of bands do it. Like take the time to actually listen to the recordings, try to check the BPMs, the keys. Let's pick this song. Let's pick this song and put like 5 or 6 songs together in a medley. But I'm a big fan of it, and I've done it before in the past. So
Yeah.
anything that really keeps things moving and makes it easier for the band to know what's going on stage.
Like you hit on Steve tempo, right? Like I just put together the 80s medley for our band,
Right.
and everyone agreed on the songs. We narrowed them down because everyone had, 20 songs that they wanted to do, and we had to narrow it down to, whatever 10 you could muster up. But long story short, exactly, you got to figure out the parts, the changes, the transitions. You may make up transition parts to get to one to the next, but the tempos is key, right? Because you can't go from something that's cranking along at 168 BPM down to something that's 135, back up to
Right.
152. You
Right.
got to try to kind of like assemble them in a way that it's more of a seamless transition.
Yeah.
Key wise.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you can make a drastic difference in tempos too, and
Yeah.
that does make a statement. You could go from a really fast song and then hit the emergency brake and slow it down if that's appropriate. So, all right, so let's before it gets too late, let's start looking at some of these set lists. We're going to go to this, and we're going to go to the Cover Band Central Group, which is right here.
CBC
Cover Band Central Group. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so here is the aforementioned hashtag CBC set list. So we're going to click on this, and we're just going to put you guys all in the spot here. Everybody that has posted a set, we're going to look at it. So the first one here is March 20th from Jim Galash. Galash? I don't know. And he just put the songs in. He didn't put like one of these, a picture, but we can just buzz through these real quick. And he's got 4 sets and then a filler song.
Okay.
Set up, and it looks like 4, 8, only 10 songs. So your first set is Mary Jane's Last Dance, Tom Petty, Pink Houses, John Cougar, Beginnings by Chicago, which I would love to hear the band play Beginnings.
Yeah, cool, eclectic, song to throw in there. Not your average cover band fare.
No, You Wrecked Me is Tom Petty, which isn't a song that you would normally hear.
We do that song too.
That's a great one. Rockin' Me, I'm going to assume is Steve Miller. Shooting Star, Bad Company, China Grove, Doobie Brothers, Peg, Steely Dan, Reeling in the Years, Steely Dan, and All Right Now, Free. So that is very classic rock. So we know what this band is about. So we can look at the 2. They're going a little 90s with Plush, but staying really in the 70s, 80s vibe. But these are good songs. I mean, these are all popular songs that you would know. Plush, Wish You Were Here, to me is a little sleepy to play live. You want people to dance.
Yeah, that's a captive audience. Like people know the song, they would enjoy hearing it, but you're not in, like you said, a dance club environment.
Yeah, Amy is good. Can't you see? Again, they're getting a little sleepy. Although it's good. Ride Captain Ride picking up, Blowing Touch and Squeezing, getting back to sleepy. So they're kind of going back and forth between fast and slow.
Yep.
There. I don't know if they're really considering that in that set. But that's the second set. Third set is where we start to pick stuff up. That's when people got a good buzz on.
Mhm.
But anyway, is Blues Traveler, I believe. Overkill is Men at Work. Salt My Tears. That is Honeymoon Suite, right?
Don't know.
You ain't worth the salt in my tears, I believe. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me on that. Centerfold, J. Giles, Melt with You, Modern English, Jenny, Tommy Two-Tone, What I Like About You. So this is all more party stuff. Devil Inside is a night. Devil Inside in Excess is a great one. I've never played that in a band.
Yeah, we do New Sensation in
New
excess.
Sensation's the one to do, man.
Yeah, and
That's
it goes over huge, man.
oh
It's
yeah, how could it
it's
not?
total rocker, man.
I don't know how every classic rock band doesn't play New Sensation.
Hmm.
Hey Jealousy, Surrender, and then okay, let's see. They're closing the night with Jealous Again as their last song. That's a strange closing song.
That is.
Black Crows. But all right, so good songs. I would probably change the order around a little bit on those, but not bad. But let's look at this next one. We'll make this bigger. So this set here, they have 4 sets too. This band, this is Douglas McCleary, and he didn't say what the name of his band is. And I don't understand the people in the Cover Band Central group that are posting set lists and are not putting the name of their band.
Yeah, but look at that first set, right? Hold On, I'm Coming, right? That's a good
Hold on.
elevator song, right? Then you got China Coast.
Elevator song.
Yeah. Sweet Home Alabama, My Sharona, Cake by the Ocean, Superstition, Shut Up and Dance. So he's definitely mixing in some newer stuff, right?
And up, all upbeat stuff. This is like,
Yeah, well, Brass in the Pocket's a little sleepy, but good tune.
but the first 7 songs are
Yeah.
pretty much all upbeat.
Yep.
And yeah,
Hard and Rock and Roll, Heat is On. That's good 80s little mix medley there. I Love Rock and Roll brings it back down again. Jesse's Girl and Barracuda. Excellent.
yeah.
I like the
Yeah.
first set. That's a good first set.
Yeah, the thing that stands out to me about this set is the keys. They have the list of the songs and the list of the keys of the songs. They have Superstition in G, which is strange because that song, the Stevie Wonder version of Superstition is an E flat, and the Stevie Ray Vaughan version of it is an E. So to play it in G is interesting, unless they made a mistake with that, but.
Or maybe they really do play it in G, Steve.
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd have to hear how that would sound in G.
Yeah, you me
It
both.
would be interesting. So yeah, you want to run down set 2? You did a good job with set 1.
Yeah, Blurred Lines, newer tune, right? Boogie Shoes.
Always works.
Wild West, Pump It Up. That's a good little combo there. Staying Alive, a little disco.
Pump It Up
medley.
is Pump Is Up. Pump It Up is Elvis Costello, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. We do that song also.
Yeah.
Staying Alive, disco medley. Just What I Needed. Good. I like that. Good tune. Cars tune.
And then there they have it. Michael Jackson medley.
Michael Jackson medley. Jump. Hit Me With Your Best Shot, which I've played 1,000 times. Great, good party tune.
Yeah.
Talking in Your Sleep, Super Freak, and Uptown Funk. Yeah. All solid. All solid selections.
I love this idea of talking in your sleep to Super Freak.
Yeah.
That's really cool because I hear the secrets that you keep. She's a super freak, super freak.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. And then Uptown. Ending the second set with Uptown is perfect because Uptown, everybody knows you're going to have everybody in the dance floor, and then you're going to go, all right, we're going on break, and everybody's going to come and hug you, and then
that was a staple for us for a while too. In Weisenheimer, that used to be our second set ender.
Yeah, Uptown, it still works. I mean, even a year after quarantine. Let me go back and see if anybody's commenting on this. All right, so Jesse Wheeler said, "What about the Beck Bogart and Appice version of Superstition?" I'm not familiar. Yes. I'm not familiar with that. I'm sure there's a ton of other versions of Superstition. Set 3, Working for the Weekend. I love as an opener.
Yep.
That's
the first song of our medley.
I love that. I love that as an opening song. It's because it's cowbell. People love cowbells.
Yep.
And
more cowbell.
and it's just a driving, upbeat, cool ass song. And then going into funky music, that's it. You got these people in the palm of your hand. Sweet Caroline, Forget It, Lady Gaga medley.
That's cool.
Uh,
I moved Sweet Caroline down, I think, in the list, you know?
you mean later?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put it later too. Um, and then
Gaga Medley, that's interesting. Whip It into Pretty Woman, that's a cool combo.
Whip It by Devo.
Yeah.
That's a cool combo. X's and O's by L King.
Yeah.
Don't Bring Me Down. ELO
Yeah.
version. Is that
Yeah.
that? Yeah, I guess that
Yeah.
is.
It sure is.
And
Hotel
then
California, that's cool.
Hotel is a great one. People sing along with that, even though that's a slower song.
Yep. But Like
He,
About You into Rockin' in the USA, that's a good combo too.
that's one that I've done. That's a medley I've done too, because it's basically the same chord progression.
And
And
Signed Sealed.
Signed Sealed Delivered by Stevie Wonder. It's a great
Yeah.
closer.
Great
And
tune.
then set 4, Long Train, Doobies, Sora standing there. Everybody knows it. Mustang, forget it. At that point, set 4, you got drunk people in the room. They're dancing. They don't care. And if they hear Mustang Sally, they're going to go apeshit.
Yep. Brown Eyed Girl, too. Everyone knows that.
Brown Eyed Girl. Next, Bad Case of Loving You is good. Walk Like an Egyptian is interesting.
That's a good too. We did that with Weisenheimers. Didn't go over very well.
No? Okay. Raspberry Beret by Prince. Let's Stay Together. So you're getting all the lovers now on the dance floor, bumping and grinding.
Stop Believing.
Sedated and Don't Stop, man. And that's it. Well, and for some reason they're doing Don't Stop and a whole step down in D.
Yeah.
And then they have
could be vocal related.
Then they have these are either encore songs or extra songs, but Bohemian Rhapsody.
They got to be encores. But I don't know about one way or another. I mean, we did that too, but that was usually like in the first set, you know.
Love Shack in one way or another. So I'm guessing that those are kind of swap songs if they need an extra song.
Could be. Love Shack always gets people up, and Bohemian Rhapsody is a great tune if you can pull it off.
If you can pull it off, yeah. By all means.
Between the Buried and Me does a great version of that, like a heavy version, a little bit more progressive. You should check it out.
Okay, I will. All right, so let's move on. That's a good one, though. I like this Douglas. I like the formation of it. I like the song selection.
What band is that, Steve? Did he say?
He did not say. These people need to post their bands.
Post your band, man. Put your band.
All right, so this is Brian Day. He said our set list from this past weekend. So we're going to have to look at these one at a time. Set 1, The Little Things, I don't know. Oh, that's Bush, I believe, right?
Yep, Rock and Roll Fantasy.
Rock and Roll Fantasy is Bad Company. No Matter What.
No matter what you've done.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think so.
And who is that? Who does that?
Don't know.
All right. My Own Worst Enemy. Right out of the gate, they're coming out with My Own Worst Enemy, which to me is a later song. But Two Tickets to Paradise. It's a good set 1 song. Fly Me Courageous is I know the song and I can't think of who
I don't
it is.
even know that song.
We Will Rock You, Tie Your Mother Down, a little Queen medley, a brief one. I Want You to Want Me. It's good. And then why they have this in a smaller font, I don't know. But
Heat of the Moment, It's Not Love. Heat of the Moment, Asia. That's a good tune, man. I've never seen a band do that as a cover.
Yeah, that's a good one. And It's Not Love. Dokken, maybe?
Don't know.
I think, Dokken has a song called It's Not Love. No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's Alice Cooper.
Yeah. Poison.
Talk Dirty. Yeah.
Whole Lot of Rosie, some AC/DC.
Yeah. And then Only One Way to Rock.
Sammy Hagar.
So that's a pretty good set. This is a rockin' band.
Eclectic, not your usual standard cover band fare. I like it.
Right. All right. So Pat, No Matter What is Badfinger.
Oh, that's right. And I should know that too because we do that tune.
And Tim said, Fly Me Courageous, Driving and Crying.
Good man, Tim. Thank you.
And Tim also knew. He was the first one to say it's Badfinger.
Yeah, no matter.
I actually said, all right, what is, okay. I'm just trying to catch up on comments here. Okay.
That's funny, Paul McCartney, because you would think no matter what, it sounds like it could be McCartney tune,
Right. Okay. So let's see. That's set 1. Let's go to set 2. Starting out with a little Seattle, Even Flow Man in a Box.
Like that.
And then to the 80s.
Yes, with his sister. Nice.
This is all rock in this set. This
Yeah,
is
really
party
good.
rock.
Rebel Yell. I hate everything about you. Ice Cream Man. That's good.
Yeah, a little Ozzy with I Don't Know.
I
And
Stand Alone. Wow.
I Stand Alone is I Stand
It's
Alone.
Godsmack.
Oh yeah, it's Godsmack. Okay. And then I guess they do. Oh, that's what it says. It says guitar change here.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they have to go to the detune. And then 1000 HP. What is that?
1,000 horsepower. Isn't that it's either White Zombie or Power Man 5,000 tune?
I don't know. Lit Up is the All Lit Up Again.
Yeah, that's
Buck Cherry.
yeah, Buck Cherry.
Sweet Emotions. Aerosmith. Turn Up the Radio, which is Autograph. And they're playing it in E flat, which is weird because it's, I think they tuned down a half step and it's actually, they play it in E. But that's a fun song. I've played that before. Say Fukit. I don't know who that is. Hair of the Dog, Nazareth.
Yep.
Don't Stop the Salmon. And somebody wrote a comment I saw about this. So that's apparently a little mashup of Don't Stop Believing and Enter the Sandman and Enter Sandman, which I would like to hear. And then they end set two with Fight for Your Right to Party.
Yeah, Beastie Boy.
By the Beastie Boys, which is a great set ender.
Yeah, that is.
All right. Set 3 is really small. I can't make this bigger. They start with Bodies. Oh my God. So they're coming out heavy.
Oh, let the bodies hit the floor.
Then Dragula. White Zombie. Yep. Wash It All Away. Drop B. I'm not sure who that is. Then they make a guitar change, do Crazy Train, Metal Health. I haven't heard a band play Metal Health in forever, man.
Yeah, right.
Quiet Riot. Then they do some Stone Temple. Sex Type Thing, Interstate Love Song, Cumbersome. That was the like 90s cliche rock song to play. It's still fun though. Dirty Deeds. Symphony of Destruction, Nothing But a Good Time. You Got Nothing Coming.
Symphony of Destruction, great tune, man. I've never seen a band do that.
It's Megadeth, right?
Yeah, Megadeth. Yep.
Yeah.
Steve Witchell comes at you.
I'm Down with the Sickness at the end. Disturbed.
Another good tune. Yeah, that's good. That's good set list too. Heavy, for sure. Definitely geared towards a heavier, and it's fun too because, I used to play in a band, Mr. Personality, which was the Eye of the Storm alter ego, and it was nothing but heavy, like 9 Inch Nails, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. Heavy, 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 back to back to back to back. And it was a lot of fun. But there was, there's a very limited amount of places you can play with a band that heavy.
That's true. All right. We have time for one more.
Steve, one more.
Let's pick a good one.
I thought they were all pretty good ones. I mean, they're all very, very different from each other, for sure,
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I'm just trying to find something different and a good picture too, so everybody can see it.
What do you got, Steve? What do you got?
I'm looking. In the meantime, entertain yourselves. Okay.
Jerry, make a note. Have this stuff queued up next time, okay? Thanks.
All right. So this one looks good. All right, I gotta go to share screen again.
What do you got, Steve?
I got this. All right, here we go.
All
right, so this one I like because it's a very nice, neat form that they created here. Beautiful Disaster. They have the name of the band here. They have the artist in the left.
Setlist template.
And it's great.
It's great.
They have the artist in the left-hand column, the song nice and large in the middle column, the key of the song, and then a column of who starts it. So very, very professional. This is Scott P. Gooman Sr. of, I guess, Beautiful Disaster. So his first set, they open with "Are You Gonna Go My Way?" So they're Lenny Kravitz. They're coming out swinging. And then they're trying to stay. They stay, kind of newish. "Paris Ooh La La" by Grace Potter is. How long ago was that? 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah,
within the last 10 years that came out.
Yeah, definitely after 2010.
What I like about you, again, another good party song, "Hash Pipe," which is fun to play by Weezer. I've played that before.
"Ironic" by Alanis. It's a good tune. We've done that before. "Feel It Still."
I don't know "Feel It Still." Do you know that one?
No.
I probably should know that. I probably know it if I heard it, but
Who's it by?
"Portugal Demand."
Oh yeah, that's that newer tune. You'd know it if you heard it. I can't see how it goes, but it's within the past 5 years.
Okay.
Good tune.
All right.
Seven Nation Army.
All right, I got to get to this question real quick. How do I post our 80s tribute set list for Steve and Tony to rate review? Post them in the group, Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but post them in the Cover Band Central Facebook group and use the hashtag CBC set lists.
Yes.
And we will see it. So I'm sorry, continue. Where'd you leave off?
I only took over because you were drinking, but that's okay. Seven Nation Army. It's a good tune too. We've done that. I've sang that song actually. "Hit Me With Your Best Shot."
And I like those two in a row. They're both in E. I like putting songs that are in the same key together.
"First Cut Is the Deepest" slows it down a little bit, right?
A little bit, yeah. And then "Harder to Breathe" picks it up. They're doing it in C sharp, yeah.
"Heartbreaker."
Right.
"Before He Cheats" brings it back down again.
Right. Yeah, but it's
we've done all these tunes. They all work. I like "Summer '69" into "Run to You." I don't know why it's highlighted. Do they do them back to back, or is it one or the other?
I don't know. They don't. There's no indication of why it's highlighted here.
We just did "Run to You." We just added that to our set list.
"Run to You" is my favorite Bryan Adams song.
Yeah. Oh, it's great tune.
It's a great song.
Two guitars, so while the one guy's playing the riff, the other guy can do all the bends. The bend.
Right. Right. And then closing it with "Sweet Child," which "Sweet Child" is a winner every single time.
Yeah, it's a great.
So it's a good set closer. So let's go and see set 2. I don't know how many sets they did here. Yes, just 3 sets, and they have additional songs. So set 2, great starting song. Look at those keys in a row. You see that? 1, 2, 3. The first 3 songs are in the key of D. So they're going to play songs in a row that are going to be easy to transition from one to the other. "Here for the Party" is Gretchen Wilson. Great song to start with. The middle, popular. "Sugar We're Going Down" works every time. Man.
Oh yeah, for sure. "Middle's a great tune too. We did that for years.
Yeah, we still do it here. I'm the Only One.
Melissa Etheridge, good tune, man.
It is a great song, and I've played it, and it works pretty much every time. "Hard to Handle" is one of the ones that we play. That's a staple that we play generally early. That's always it's almost always in the first 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah, that was always the first set song for us.
Kind of warm up song. "Something to Talk About," Bonnie Raitt. "Just a Girl," no doubt. So definitely a female singer in this band.
Yeah,
Beautiful Disaster. There's probably a male singer doing some of this stuff, but this is "Just a Girl Fell in Love with a Girl" by White Stripes. "Celebrity Skin" by Hole, which
I good tune.
Yeah, I did that a long time ago when
by
it was
Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins.
That is correct. Good job. Wait, where's my thing? I was way too late on it.
Way too late.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. "Everything About You" by Ugly Kid Joe is highlighted for some reason. But then "One Way or Another" again, X's and O's again, which everybody plays. "Boots Are Made for Walking" by Nancy Sinatra.
But hang on, "Everything About You" was on that other set list we saw too.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Interesting. That haven't heard that tune in a long time. From a
and
band,
and they throw it back. So it's a little classic. They're songs together with the Nancy Sinatra, Supremes, then the Beatles.
Yeah.
So "Standing There," "Locked Out of Heaven" by Bruno Mars, and then "You Ought to Know" by Alanis. And set 3, we just got to buzz through this because we're running out of time. But they started with one.
You know what's interesting though? You ought to know they end their set with it, and we typically used to open the set with that.
Yeah, that's more of an ender for me too. But they start this set 3 with Wonderwall, and then do
Careless Whisper. Wow.
Careless Whisper, Your Love, which always works. They're playing in A for some reason, and it's in E. I think that's a mistake. Shut Up and Dance, Voices Carry, Don't Stop, Play That Funky Music, Want You to Want Me. So all the party songs, When I Come Around, Drift Away slows things down, Creep slows things way down.
That's a good tune, though.
Yeah. What I Got picks it back up, Flagpole Sitta. My Own Worst Enemy, Rock and Roll All Night is a great ender. And they have a list of additional songs. But this is cool. I would say anybody wants to see this, go to the Cover Band Central group and look at the hashtag CBC set list, and you can see all the ones that are posted there, and including the one that we just read, which is super cool. I wish we had more time to get through more of those.
Well, we can pick it up. We can pick it up again next week. You know, we could spend a little bit of time on it.
We could.
It's good because it just shows you the diversity, right, in the bands, but yet there's still a common thread of a dozen or so songs that you see as a constant, you know, or even a half a dozen songs that are at least, you know, 1 or 2 in everybody's set list.
Right.
Kind of the same.
Right. All right. Wow. We blew past our thing. This is where you can go. Coverbandcentral.com. Sign up for a profile for you, your band, or both. It is free, and there's a lot of other content on the website that you can check out for free. A lot of articles, a lot of memes, stuff to share. If you want to contribute to the cause, paypal.me/coverbandcentral. You can throw a couple bucks in the tip jar. And if you want to contact me directly, steve@coverbandcentral.com.
Yeah.
Quick week. I really like the topic. And next week, I believe we're going to have a guest. And
very cool.
Yes, I believe our guest has just put out a book, and he sings in a very, very popular tribute band. So
don't get it away just yet, Steve.
So yeah, but look out on the Cover Band Central page and in the group for announcements for that. I will surely advertise it once I make sure it's actually going to happen.
Yes, once he's confirmed.
Once he's confirmed, and I think it is.
People get back to your people.
Yes, but thank you guys for watching, for being here, and really appreciate you all. Be good to one another, and be good to yourselves. We'll see you next week.
Hey.